U.S. Border Control strikes again, and people are upset about it.
F1 driver Yuki Tsunoda was interrogated for 3 hours and was almost denied entry into the United States ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yuki had already raced in the US twice this season, but this time nearly got sent back home even though he had his visa and travel documents upon arrival. The driver even requested to call his team for help, but Border Control wouldn't let him. Yuki said, "I was wearing pajamas, so maybe I didn't look like a Formula One driver." It remains unclear as to exactly why Tsunoda was stopped at customs, but he will be racing in Las Vegas on Saturday. F1.
Some of the comments are saying, that sounds like racial profiling. You flew across the Pacific, you'd want to wear something comfortable. Couldn't they just Google him? This is just the start, and I don't see how the World Cup 2026 is going to be held in the USA. Another video goes on to say, Yuki said he nearly got denied entry in the US. The officer didn't believe him that he was an F1 driver. He wasn't allowed to call his physio in, who he traveled with. He wasn't allowed to call his team or F1 directly and needed to explain every detail from his salary, costs, amount of races, etc. Some of the comments on this video is the fact that Yuki has a Japanese passport too. Why were they so rude? CBP does this. They take people into the room for questioning. Nonetheless, this agent was probably on a major power trip. Honestly, if I was Yuki, I would just Google myself and show him. I get pulled and questioned every time I enter the US, and I was born here. The fact that they could have just looked him up, 802 Yuki Tsunoda, what the hell? I've literally been interrogated coming back from Canada. It's a daily thing for people who travel internationally to the US, unfortunately. 3 hours was overkill, but the questioning is pretty typical. They do this to me often, even though I'm American. They really don't like hearing I own my own company, because then they really don't be believing anything. Was there for 3 hours once as well. Even Americans have trouble getting back to the US. I mean, we all knew they're strict. When I worked in JFK, literally watched them question a 10-year-old and taught him how to count just to see what money his parents gave him. So as we can see, the U.S. Border Control is known to be slightly outrageous, and it's not a new thing for people to be stopped and held for outrageous amounts of time. However, due to, the current political state of the U.S., I think that has heightened people's feelings towards these types of situations. And, America has a racism issue, and mixing all those things together, people feel like they need to come to Yuki's defense and feel that he was treated unfairly at Border Control coming into the U.S., especially since this wasn't his first time coming in this year, and, he's a well-known person. He's easily able to be looked up, and they could probably surmise from that what he was doing in the U.S. this trip, and they could have asked him, they could have reached out to his managers and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was pretty unreasonable to hold him for 3 hours, and yeah, I mean, this is just something that everybody experiences, even Americans, when coming into the U.S., and it's within Border Control's rights to hold you and question you and stuff like that. But I do think it's something that you just kind of have to prepare for in case it happens to you when traveling to the U.S., unfortunately. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. See ya!